Hello everybody, Joe Bag of Donuts here. Welcome back for another episode of Umineko. A little late on this upload. It's probably going to be like that for the next couple of days because I don't have anything in backlog and I just woke up and it's like 7 o'clock in the evening. I have work tonight. I'm working till like noon tomorrow, which means either I record as soon as I get back or I go to sleep and wake up early and record before I go to work. So either way, expect uploads in the afternoon to evening. No determined time because it really just depends on how tired I am when I get off work. But anyway, what happened last time? Did some magic. Got the fucking stakes back. Great. I'm sure they're gonna be lots of help. Fantastic. Moving on. I don't really have too much to say, mainly because I forgot what happened specifically last time. Don't worry about it. It'll come back to me once I start having my coffee. That's right. Just once in the past, I underwent training in order to step into the world of witches. I accepted that the only power which could save me from my sad, painful days at St. Lucia Academy. I probably butchered that, don't worry about it. Was a thing called magic, and I received Maria Onechan's introduction to the basics.
広大な空間をイメージ。峠のドライブインから麓を見下ろした時の風景。
Ooh, wibbly wobbly. I projected that scene from my memory into my mental world. Normal little girls get over their admiration of magical girls during elementary school. Training in absolute earnest to use magic at this age, I have to say, I'm embarrassed of myself. But even that embarrassed emotion felt pleasant to me now. Right now, I was learning mental concentration from Maria Onechan in order to use magic. But it wasn't going very well. It was about as hopeless as going to a person who can wiggle their ears, asking them how they do it, and expecting to learn anything at all from their demonstration. It seems that you need to imagine a vast space to gain the mental concentration for using magic. So, I remember the time from my younger days, when my family had gone on a small vacation, and I looked down towards the base of a mountain from a viewing platform at a rest stop on the peak, and I tried painting this scenery into my mental world.
まだまだ狭い。もっともっと広い空間をイメージして、そして演者だけの心象世界を作り上げるの。まだまだイメージが霞んでる。空気に温度もないし、風もない。匂いもない。まだまだ世界が希薄。それらは後でもいいから、今はとにかくもっと広い世界をイメージして。
Focus on the size. Big wide open plain of nothing.
ウリュウ、どうして広い空間のイメージが必要なの？人間の体内には生まれながらにして魔法を妨げる毒素があるんだよ。その毒素を浄化しないと魔法はうまく使えないの。そのために有効な方法の一つが広大な空間をイメージすることなんだよ。さっきは飛行機の窓から見た世界を思い描いたけど、それもダメだったわ。
Well, yeah, it's from the perspective of being on an airplane. It seems pretty fuck, I can't speak. You know, against magic.
もっと広大な世界なんて見当もつかない。
Antithesis? Antithesis to antithetical? Tisical? Whatever. You know what I meant. Don't make fun of me. I can't speak good.
なら、マリアの持つ広大な世界をエンジェにも教えてあげればいいよ。そしたらエンジェにもイメージがしやすくなるんじゃない？ウリュウ。そうね。私もお姉ちゃんはどんな世界をイメージして魔法を使ってるのか興味があるわ。私もそれを参考にする。ダメだよ。心象世界は広大で、そして孤独じゃないといけないの。
Can't let no one in?
自分以外に一切遮るものがない世界。だからその世界を人に教えたら、その世界は孤独ではなくなってしまう。だから心象世界は誰にも明かしちゃダメなの。だからエンジェも上手に心象世界を描けたら、それは自分だけの秘密の世界にするんだよ。ウリュウ、 マリアケチンボ。ありがとう、サク太郎。修行に近道なしってわけだわ。
Nope.
努力してみる。
Can't just copy someone else's homework.
大丈夫。ヒントは十分もらえてるわ。ウリュウ、エンジェ、頑張れ。
I'd come to think there was no way I could be saved by something like magic. After all, magic doesn't exist in this world. That kind of thing should be nothing more than a fantasy, a delusion, a daydream. However, Ryuo-ne-chan had shown that she could fill her own world with happiness using a power that was impossible for me. I'd been looking down on that happiness as an empty happiness. I'd been denying it all, thinking that because I didn't accept magic, I couldn't accept the happiness that came from it either. But Ryuo-ne-chan's world grew happier and happier. In the past, I had disparaged it, calling it painful to look at. But that might have been nothing more than jealousy. It was time for me to admit that. And doing so was my first step in my search for happiness. A vast space. A dry wind that can blow unobstructed by everything. Let me feel that wind blowing through my hair. Yes. Even the ground might block me as I am now. And I don't need it. Push the ground away. Downwards, downwards. And sear my vision, that's fine. Rip my cornea. In other words, it was as though I had been floating up, leaving the ground far behind. After pushing it further and further downwards, the ground grew foggy and faint, and for the first time, I began to feel the sky. Then, I understood its vastness. In that instant, I felt the vivid wind pass straight through my body. In other words, blow through without any resistance.
そう、その感覚を維持して。ええ、わかる。すべての妨げから解放されてるのがわかる。やったエンジェ、やったエンジェ。魔女の世界への最初の第一歩を踏み出した。
Good job, I guess.
これが魔女の世界。うん。じゃあ、エンジェがずっと望んできた魔法を練習してみよう。お友達を呼び出す魔法。エンジェを寂しさから救い出してくれる味方を作り、それによって幸せになる魔法を。
Friend? What a foreign concept.
エンジェにも僕みたいなお友達が呼び出せるの？うりゅうりゅう。今のエンジェには、ゼロの海からサク太郎ほどの友達を呼び出すにはまだまだ早いね。最初は呼び出しやすい友達から練習しよう。
Let's start off with like a sock puppet.
最初は何を？エンジェはマリアージュ・ソルシエールの魔女だから、同盟の魔女が刺激する存在はエンジェもまた刺激することが許されてる。
Okay.
例えばサク太郎は私の友達だけど、同じ同盟のエンジェにとっても友達で、そして召喚することができる。今度試しにサク太郎を呼び出してみて。寂しくて辛い時、サク太郎がきっと元気づけてくれるよ。
Oh, right. You would call Sakutaro a being employed by One-chan. So, as a witch in the same alliance as One-chan, it's also possible for me to summon Sakutaro. I met Sakutaro's gaze. What a joy it would be to have him just be sitting there by my pillow, so he could talk to me a bit on lonely nights.
私が呼びかけたら、あなたは現れて話し相手になってくれる？ウリュウ、エンジェが呼び出してくれるのを楽しみにしてる。ウリュウリュウリュウ。
Looking happy, Sakutaro playfully pressed and rubbed his head against me like a cat. Suddenly, getting this cute younger brother left me feeling a bit confused, a bit embarrassed, and a bit happy. Unable to understand why I had been unable to honestly accept this feeling, I felt tears well up in my eyes.
お姉ちゃん、私頑張るわ。じゃあ練習をしてみよう。同じ同盟の魔女ベアトリーチェの家具を呼び出してみよう。
Well, we already got the stakes.
ベアトリーチェの家具。
I mean, who else we got? We got fucking Ronove, but I don't think he'd be much help. Hearing Beatrice's name mentioned gave me a slightly strange feeling. When it came to the crime on Rokunjima, the public had made a lot of noise about it being a witch's sacrificial ritual or something like that. And that witch was Beatrice. So if the culprit of that crime was a witch, it'd mean that this very woman was the culprit who took away my family. However, according to Maria One-chan, Beatrice was a good witch. If I held negative emotions towards Beatrice, she would get mad, argue with me, and call me mean, and refuse to talk to me for a while. One-chan was my only close friend right now. So to avoid worsening the mood of my close friend, I decided to think of Beatrice as nothing more than One-chan's magic master. And anyway, my belief is that the crime was a murder plot hatched by Aunt Ava. Someday I'm definitely gonna bring that all to light.
Enji, また体内に妨げが混じってるよ。ごめんなさい。
You're thinking too hard.
集中を書いたわ。もう一度。
One-chan is really something. She instantly noticed that I was being overcome with idle thoughts. After shaking my head just once, I reimagined the wind blowing through the vast sky.
煉獄の七姉妹。なんだか物騒な名前ね。でも、とっても賑やかで楽しい子たちだよ。
When they're not fucking ripping someone apart,
エンジェの新しいお友達になってくれるかもしれない。まずは私が呼び出してみせるね。見てて。
Maria One-chan lifted both hands up to the level of her head and quietly unified her mind. The state that I could not attain without meditation for a long period of time, she reached in the span of a few quick breaths. Then, a pale blue light began to gather in her palms, and one by one, the girls began to show themselves. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. The way they were summoned one after another in a line was overwhelmingly impressive. Incredible. The 7 Sisters of Purgatory, just like the illustrations in One-chan's grimoire. The younger sisters were behind the eldest, Lucifer, who saluted One-chan.
煉獄の七姉妹、ここに。マリア卿、ご無沙汰を申し上げております。久しぶりだね。みんなも元気？我ら家具は刺激されてこそ家具。久しぶりのお呼び出しを心より光栄に思います。サク太郎、お久しぶり。
Big old reunion.
相変わらず美味しいじゃなかった。かわいい。私が一番。今日もふかふかプニプニしててかわいい。
Poor Sakataro, his life is so hard.
私にも抱かせて、私にも抱かせて。ウリュウ、苦しい。僕は逃げないから離してみんな。こら、あんたたち。マリア卿の家具を壊す気？
Yeah, he's tougher than
とに
stuff
か
than
く
that.
離れなさいよ。抱きしめるの禁止。
そう言ってるサタン姉が一番抱きしめたがってるよ。
私は別にあんなふかふかでプニプニのワフワフなんて興味ないんだから。こら、マリア卿とエンジェ様の御前よ。静かになさい、この愚昧ども。
They were so energetic. Sudden burst of activity as soon as they appeared left me stunned. And even greater than that was my surprise that the innocent Sakataro was on such good terms with the 7 sisters.
意外。サク太郎があんな物騒な連中にこんなに可愛がられてるなんて。同じ同盟の仲間たちだもん。怖くなんかないよ。でも万が一彼女らの機嫌を損ねちゃったら、サク太郎あっという間にやられちゃいそう。大丈
I
夫。
mean, probably.
同盟の魔女とその家具はみんな仲良しなの。だからサク太郎も安心して遊べるの。それはもちろん私やエンジェも同じだよ。
One of the treaties of the Mariage Saucière. Mutual non-aggression and non-interference. Member witches must respect each other's magic and creations. Even the sisters, who were normally extremely combative and dangerous, interacted with fellow alliance members as friends. So to the seven sisters, Sakataro was a common friend. He was loved by all the seven sisters, and they were even trying to steal him away from each other. The scene as they all surrounded him and loved him was actually a bit charming.
なるほど。マリアージュソルシエルの仲間同士なのね。
At a glance, you'd think that Sakataro's easygoing atmosphere and the Seven Sisters' unsettling one would be like water and oil. They looked like they'd never be compatible. And yet, they were interacting in such a friendly way, as if it was completely natural. If all the people of the world could be joined in this wonderful alliance, I wonder if the whole world could immediately become friends.
七姉妹のみんな、聞いて！今エンジェは魔法の修行
Yeah, we're on the
中なの。
clock.
だから、みんなの力を貸してほしいの。
かしこまりました、マリア卿。しかし、具体的には何を？
君たちを権限させる魔力を私からエンジェに移す。その状態でいつも彼女の身近にいてあげてほしいの。
Okay.
彼女の話し相手になったりしてあげるだけでいい。
恐れながら、エンジェ様の魔力では、私たち七姉妹すべてを四六時中呼び出し続けるのは容易なことではないかと。
The oldest sister, Lucifer, gauged my reaction as she advised this, speaking reservedly. In short, she's saying that the burden might be too heavy for me at this point in time.
そういう修行なの。エンジェはみんなが想像しているより才能と魔力があるよ。
Yeah, it's like strength training. Some days you just gotta fucking push yourself to the limit.
ちょっぴり辛いかなとは思うけど、今のエンジェなら挑戦する価値はあると思う。
Instead of set amount of reps, you just go to the point of exhaustion where you just die.
エンジェ、今から彼女たちを権限させる魔力を君に切り替える。つまり、エンジェが呼び出したのと同じ状態になるの。
So what Mirio-ne-chan was trying to say was something like this. To keep the Seven Sisters manifested, they were burdened continuously with a significant amount of magical power. Maybe you could say it was like training while wearing weighted wristbands.
ウリュウ、七姉妹全員はかなり大変。エンジェ、いきなりは厳しくない？ありがとう、サクタロ。でも、魔女になるための修行だしね。やれるところまでやってみるわ。
The seven of them certainly do seem boisterous. But even if they're doing it for the sake of my training, having them be with me will surely distract me from my loneliness, at least a little. I understood it would be an ordeal, but before anything else, I wanted to give it a shot.
もしも辛かったら無理をしないでね。みんなもエンジェが辛そうだったら加減してあげて。
かしこまりました。わかったね、あんたたち。はい、お姉様。それではエンジェ様、これより我ら煉獄の七姉妹はエンジェ様の家具となります。マリア卿、お願いいたします。うん。じゃあエンジェ、始めてもいい？いいわ。
Take a few deep breaths.
ちょっと緊張する。ウリュ。
MP is gonna drop to like fucking 0.
いきなりは辛いかも。頭痛になりそうだったらすぐに魔力を減らしてね。じゃあ魔力ソースをエンジェに移すよ。
Instantly, the inside of my head felt very heavy. This is, yes, it's tough. Till then, the inside of my head had been used only for myself. It's almost like it was now being used for 7 other people. The mere presence there, blinking, or even letting out a single breath, was placing an enormous weight on the inside of my head.
マリア卿、恐れながら、やはり一度に七姉妹全員の負荷は重すぎるかと。大丈夫。
Yeah, just gotta get used to it.
やっぱりダメかな。権限に全勢力を使っちゃってる。日常生活と両立できないほどの負荷じゃ意味がない。何しろ魔女としてこれじゃちょっと優雅じゃないね。ウリュウ、だからいきなりこんなに大勢は無理だって言った。みんな少し姿を消してあげて。
Just a little bit.
そうね。 人数を減らした方が良さそう。アスモ、姿を消しなさい。
また私？
Adds the fucking burden of being the youngest.
末っ子いじめ反対。たまには上から消えてよ。
それじゃ私が2番目に消えなきゃならないじゃない。
やだやだや
だ。アスモもレビア姉も騒がないの。そういう騒ぎが余計エンジェ様の負担になるのよ。
Don't scream.
あんたが騒ぐのも負担になるのよ、バカサタン。
Seven sisters started arguing over who should vanish first. All the energy of that fight became a burden, posing an even greater headache upon Anjay. In the end, they decided to order with rock, paper, scissors, and they began to disappear. One of them, 2, 3. But even at that level, Anjay was still far from comfortable. In the end, I was finally able to calm my breathing once 6 of them had erased themselves. With my magical power, forget the 7 sisters, just one of them is my limit. Who we got sticking around?
ああ、これじゃあ7姉妹じゃなくて私一人じゃないですか。エンジェ様、ちょっと頼りないです。
Well, you seem the most compatible with her, so. Maman, who had won her way through the rock, paper, scissors and received permission to remain until the end, complained.
ウリュウ、マモン、そんなこと言っちゃダメ。エンジェはまだまだ修行中。大丈夫、エンジェ。頭痛、大丈夫？
Okay, I'm gonna sneeze. Give me a sec. Ugh, gross. You gotta, like, spit in my mustache. Ugh. Sakatara stretched on his tiptoes and did little hops trying to pat Anjay's head. Watching this, Maria scratched her head, acknowledging that this sudden training had been too difficult.
ちょっと荒行すぎたかな。マリア、これくらいなら全然平気だけど、友達いっぱいいればいるほど楽しいし。
お姉ちゃんの凄さを改めて思い知るわ。
According to Maria and Achan, when you reach her class, you can even summon enough people at once to make up an orchestra. And yet, she calls herself a witch apprentice. That's awe-inspiring.
大丈夫ですか？エンジェ様。
ごめんなさいね。私にはあなた一人を呼び出すのがやっとみたい。
まあ、私はこれでもいいかな。だって、7姉妹で私だけが、エンジェ様の家具を独り占めだし。いかがですか、エンジェ様？私一人なら、不可にはなりませんか？
ええ、あなた一人ならなんとかね。
よかった。
Yep, one good imaginary friend.
なら、いっぱい修行して、いっぱい魔力を養ってください。そして、いつかきっと7姉妹で揃ってお仕えさせてください。約束ですよ。
After checking that there was at least nothing wrong with her own manifestation, Maman immediately returned to a good mood and tried to make me promise to work even harder. Yes, I can see the greed in her. But maybe we could also call it positivity.
約束するわ。そのくらいはいつかできなくちゃね。
ありがとう、エンジェ様。この強欲のマモン。その日まで必ずエンジェ様にお仕えします。
My headache finally abated, and I relaxed both hands, which had been clenched at my head. Then, Mammon stuck out her hands and helped me to stand back up.
ウリュウ、あ、マリア、エンジェ、もうこんな時間だよ。
I gotta wake up soon.
もう部屋に戻らないと叱られる。
Ooh, wibbly wobbly. Was this a fucking bathroom stall? I hadn't expected Sakatara to talk about the time. I was brought back into reality. As though the light had disappeared from it, the vast world sank into the darkness. And I was in a tiny, tiny bathroom stall, sitting on a toilet. You fall asleep while taking a shit? Onei-chan's grimoire was open on my lap. I looked at the clock. It was almost 8 p.m., time for lights out. If I show up late for roll call before lights out, not only will they make an annoying fuss about it, but it causes trouble for my roommates and floor mates as well. I couldn't care less about causing them trouble, but I'd rather not have to deal with the annoying interference that would come as a result. That's the end of my me time for today. I'll go to bed, wake up, tomorrow will begin, and another long gray-colored day will repeat again. I closed the grimoire and rose from the toilet seat. Nei-chan appeared again and spoke.
Hora, Enji.
Yeah, why are we here?
修行を忘れてるよ。マモンを連れて行って。
I'd forgotten. The moment I returned to reality, I'd stopped manifesting Mammon. One more time, I created a strong image of the existence of Mammon in my mind.
もう、エンジ様ったらひどいです。いきなり私を消すなんて。そんなんじゃ、7姉妹を全員呼ぶなんて、なかなかできませんよ。ごめんなさい。うっかりしてたわ。人間界に権限するのはすごい久しぶりなので、何から何まで興味深いです。ちょっぴりワクワクしてます。ここはどこですか？聖ルチア学園の寮。
Yes, but why are we here? Didn't we leave off in a hotel room?
ここはその共用トイレの個室。各部屋にトイレはあるから、ここには誰も来ない。静かで、本を読むにはちょうどいいの。ここの寮は本を読むにも、トイレの個室に隠れなきゃならないの？
Talk about depressing.
文書でもやってるんですか？
I have a double room, so my roommate is always there. Our relationship is strained, and it feels like I'm always being ignored. The atmosphere is bad, so it's really not a place I can relax. That's good for her as well. As long as I'm not there, she can go all out, call her friends, and have a chatting party. It's more convenient for her too if I don't return until just before lights out. There's also the library, but the group that uses that as a meeting place is constantly whispering about me. So I don't like to go to the library either. During lunch, it's the bushes behind the school building. During night, it's the stall in the communal bathroom in the dorms. Those are the only hideaways where I can be given peace. I opened the door to the stall and went out. I turned around, signaling with my eyes for Mammon to come with me.
よくわからないけれど、エンジ様にとってとても快適とは言い難い場所だってことが分かったわ。早く表に出ましょう。ここの空気嫌い。
Well, yeah, it's a bathroom.
ここの空気が一番まともなんだけどね。
Well, they got nice, like, gym lockers, though. When I left the bathroom and exited into the corridor, because it was near lights out, all the girls who had gone to play in the other rooms were dashing back to their own. When it came time for lights out, we had to change into uniform pajamas that were hated and called prison clothes, line up in the hallway, and go through the dorm leader's roll call. If by some chance someone were to be late for this, we would be made to take collective responsibility, and all us floor mates would have to undergo a punishment that went by the name of volunteer work. As long as I took care to avoid this, the girls would disregard me coldly, but they wouldn't get in my way. That alone was enough for me. Evan looked at the passing girls and the furnishing of the dorms with interest. Without paying her any particular attention, I hurried back to my room. In front of my room was my roommate, who had already changed into her prison clothes, chatting with some girls from the room next door. When they noticed me hurrying back, they blatantly changed the topic of their conversation. They lowered their voices, stealing glances at me. I acted like I didn't notice, went into my room, changed, and hurriedly went out into the corridor. Everyone was already lined up.
何これ？おかしい。ここってお嬢様学校じゃないの？
Yeah, this place sucks.
刑務所みたい。バカみたい。やっぱりそうよね。私もそう思ってるわ。刑務所よりさらに厳しい点は、素行が良くても刑期が短くならない点かしら。
After bitching for a bit, I noticed. Having someone to listen to your complaints, I feel surprisingly good. Fortunately, Mammon's form can only be seen by the summoner, me. And of course, there's no need to speak out loud for this conversation. All I have to do is speak inside my mind, so no one can listen in. Magic, and the friends created by it, would actually not be so bad.
こいつら、揃いも揃ってもやしみたい。
Yeah, you could kick their ass.
生きてないって感じ。
やめなさいよ。毎日姿を見られたら大変よ。
夢も希望もかけらほどもない人間なんて、半魔法の塊だもの。私の姿なんて絶対に見えるわけがない。見ることもできない下等生物どもが。
あなたはその半魔法の毒素を持つ人間たちがこれほどいる中でも平気なの？
エンジェ様が私を権限させてくださる限りは平気です。ただ私を権限するために常に集中しなければならないでしょうから、日常生活がおろそかになる可能性がありますよ。ほら、同室の子に呼ばれてません？後宮さん、聞こえてる？
Nope.
来週からの終盤なんだけどさ、ちょっと相談があって。
Probably about pushing a few more chores onto me. My roommate, normally would never even look me in the eye, was smiling at me unpleasantly. But I'll have a much easier time having the weekly duty pushed onto me and doing it alone, rather than being forced to do it with her. That's a small price to pay to have her continue to ignore me. Yet, after the shameless excuses, she transitioned into pushing a completely different point, insisting on flipping the issue on its head, as if I should have come forward and done it on my own initiative. One of the special traits of this academy is that it's full of girls who don't know how to ask for a favor.
何この子、ムカつく。眉間に思いっきり私の杭をねじ込んでやりたい。
そうね。ぜひ今度お願いするわ。
Yeah. Having a friend nearby all the time to complain to makes me happier than I thought it would. Seven Sisters really were lively when they were all gathered together. I'm sure that just watching them mess around would be a lot of fun. I've decided I'll do all I can to quickly gain the magical power to summon all the Seven Sisters at once. Then I'll keep training more and more and more and summon the thing that I really want to summon.
エンジ様が本当に召喚したいものって何ですか?
I noticed my conversation with myself inside my head and asked about it blankly. I hesitated over whether to talk about it, but then thought that it wasn't anything to hide and told her.
家族よ。お父さん、お母さん、お兄ちゃん。
それってつまり死者の魂？異界の住人を呼び出すのは召喚だけど、死者の魂を呼び戻すのは反言で、それは全くの別物。
Yeah, that one seems a little tricky.
反言はかなりの大魔法のはずですよ。
I know. So much so that even Ryo-Nei-chan can't do it at all. But that's the thing I most want to call with magic. I've been warned that this is a very difficult high-level magic. So great that, in the worst case, I might not necessarily reach that point even after training for my whole life. Furthermore, I have no vessel. A vessel is something vital for making magic succeed, whether it be summoning or resurrection. Because I don't have one, what would already be difficult magic instead became hopeless. That's right. I have nothing to remember Mom or Dad by. However, by an extraordinary coincidence, I do have something to help me remember Oni-chan. And that's this. What, your little hair baubles?
そのピンクの玉の頭飾り？何それ？言っちゃ悪いけど、エンジェ様にはちょっと安物っぽい。
昔、お父さんに内緒で、お母さんと一緒にお兄ちゃんに会って、遊園地に遊びに行ったことがあるの。そこのクレーンゲームの景品。
I know it's something cheap. I realize that doesn't match my style. And I get that it's too childish. But this hair accessory is the only thing that makes me feel as though Battler Oni-chan is by my side. Inside of the glass case had been filled up with plastic capsules packed with fun-looking things. It seemed that each of those capsules had some kind of cute little object inside. The game was to grab those with the crane, but I was young and it was too hard for me. No matter how many times I tried, I didn't even get close. Oh, that's because those games are fucking rigged. Like, the owner can go in and fiddle with the settings to like change how many times, out of how many times the crane actually gets enough power to pick something up. So if they want it to be real hard, they can be like, oh yeah, 1 in every 30 times the crane arm actually has enough grip strength to actually lift something. They're a scam. Mom told me that whatever was inside was probably cheap anyway, and we didn't even know what it was. So there was no point in getting all upset over it. But whether it was something cheap or not wasn't the issue. The process of grabbing happiness with my own hands felt very important and sacred to me. So I wanted that capsule, its unknown cheap little object, more than anything. Then, Battler Oni-chan came over after finishing with a game where you shoot soldiers with a gun. Had to go in my place. The happiness that was beyond my reach, Oni-chan stretched out for with his longer arms and grasped it for me. Oni-chan really was coordinated. Apparently, he often played at the arcade with his friends. After only 1 or 2 attempts with the crane, he grasped that thing on the other side of the glass that I hadn't been able to even touch, and dumped it into the exit chute. When Oni-chan passed me that capsule, I remember feeling like I could count on him for anything. For the next several days, I felt like the capsule was too precious to open up. Then, one day, I finally opened it. And when I did, what revealed itself from inside was this pink bead hair accessory. Since that day, this has been a symbol of Oni-chan. My young mind thought that getting that 4-person family together, with Battler Oni-chan included, was a precondition for a happy family. So I wanted Oni-chan and Dad to make up quickly. In my own way, I had made this hair accessory a charm to bring my whole family together. That's why I always used to wear it. Because I wanted to feel my reliable, funny, and wonderful Oni-chan by my side all the time, and give him a place in our house.
でも、お兄ちゃんの記憶はあまりに遠い。マリアお姉ちゃんがライオンのぬいぐるみからサク太郎を生み出したようには簡単にできない。私は死者の魂を蘇らせる大魔法をいつか必ず身につける。そしてそれを成功させられる唯一の鍵が、よりしろがこれなの。
なるほど。その頭飾りにものすごい魔力を感じてたけど、そういうわけなのね。
魔力？お兄ちゃんのこれに魔力が宿ってるの？
園児様が宿らせていると言うべきかもね。園児様の兄を呼び出したいという強い思いが魔力を与えている。確かに反言は大魔法だけど、園児様はその魔法のために無意識のうちに着実に階段を上っているのは間違いない。
嬉しいわ。私以外の人にそれを認めてもらえるのは。
Your own effort isn't something you can observe by yourself. In that sense, even though these words came from a dangerous demon girl who governs over one of the 7 deadly sins, they made me very happy.
反言の魔法に至るのと寿命を全うするのとどっちが早いかだけは私には保証できないけれども、でも挑む山の高さが高ければ高いほど、魔女と園児様はくじけることがなかったなら、きっといつか私たちの元の主、
Just don't get too lost in the sauce like Kinzo,
ベアトリ
okay?
ーチェ様に匹敵するほどの大魔女になれると思います。
Stay away from the absence. It seems that alcoholism runs in your
な
family.
れるかしら。大魔女になってお兄ちゃんを、家族を蘇らせることができるかしら。
反言の魔女、演者教。素敵！反言の魔女はかなりレアな魔女です。そんな魔女がご主人様なんてちょっと鼻が高いです。っていうか、むしろそうなってほしいものです。ハグの価値も主の格に比例しますので。もうベアトリーチェ様さえ抜いちゃって天下無双の大魔女になってくださいね。煉獄の7姉妹を代表して心より応援申し上げます。
Thought that if a magical friend were to appear for me too, I'd like a cute kid like Sakataro. But even this fifth sister of the frightening seven sisters who governs the seven deadly sins was enough to calm my heart this much all by herself. Rione-chan probably knew this long ago. That's why she recommended the world of witches to me over and over and over again. And I kept on stubbornly rejecting it. Ooh. I should have given in and started my training as a witch sooner. A year as a child compares with 10 in old age, was it? At this point, I find my past self deplorable for wasting precious time doing nothing but complaining. Long after I turned off the lights and slipped into my bed, Mom would continue to talk to me beside my pillow. I promise, one day for sure, I'll develop a magical power that can summon the seven sisters, and I'll have them and I'll let them have a lively and fun time. The seven of them make a single whole. None can be left out. Family must be together. They must bring them together. My awareness began to return slowly. I hadn't been able to stand watching Aunt Rose and Rione-chan's relationship, and I had to run away from Beato and Oni-chan's game, hadn't I? I've got to go back. I've got to go back, support Oni-chan, and quickly bring him back from this world and its crazy witch games. Because as long as I'm here, I'm not permitted to call myself Anjay. Suddenly, I felt someone's presence. Oh, hey, Mammon. When I turned around, there stood Mammon.
グレーテル様、そろそろお戻りになられないと、ゲームの進行に差し支えると、ベアトリーチェ様が仰せです。速やかにお戻りになられますように、お願い申し上げます。
ありがとう。
So, how does the flow of time work here?
もう戻るわ。
よかったじゃないですか。
何が？
バトラお兄ちゃんに出会えて。
皮肉？
そう聞こえるなら、そういうことにしてもらってもいいですか？
Alright, well, just gotta keep appearances again, I guess. You know, on the clock. Can't let personal relationships get involved right now.
ごめんなさい。
And she's currently contracted out to someone else.
言葉通りに受け取るべきね。ええ、そうよ。こんなおかしな世界であっても、お兄ちゃんに出会えて、心底に嬉しいわ。
そして、お兄ちゃんのために、ベアトリーチェ様に打ち勝つ？
ええ。いつまでもこんな世界で遊ばれてちゃ困るもの。そろそろお家へ帰る時間なのよ。だから私が呼びに来たわ。
せいぜい頑張ってください。私、今の主はベアトリーチェ様ですので、応援はできませんが。知
ってるわ。
Nothing personnel, kid.
1986年10月5日までは、あなたはベアトリーチェの家具よ。そしてやがては、私の友人になるわ。
そしてやがては、その友人を捨てるわけですが、何しろ。
Oh. Mammon moaned as if she had bit her tongue, staggered as she clutched her chest. Apparently, the rule applies to people other than me as well.
大丈夫？それ、結構辛いわよ。
失礼しました。グレーテル様。
いいえ、ありがとう。嬉しいわ、お兄ちゃんに出会えて。あなたの最初の問いへの答えよ。じゃあ、戻りましょう。私があまりぐずると、あなたが今の主人に怒られるわ。
はい。ご理解いただけて助かります。それではこっち。
マモン
I'm sure Mammon had been about to say, well then, this way. But she stopped dead, so the film had been torn off. Looked like she had whoa, what happened to my fucking mouth there? Looks like she had suddenly frozen. Then I noticed, she wasn't the only thing that was frozen. Even the air and floating bits of dust had frozen in place. A world where it seemed that even time itself had frozen. Yes. It resembled that which would usually happen before Bernkastel appeared. The atmosphere was different somehow. Then I understood. wasn't Bernkastel. It was the other witch.
調子はどうかしら、
Hi, Lambda Delta. Don't you got other places to be?
あなたにはルールの適用はないのね。
当たり前でしょ。ルールは他人を縛るためにあるのよ。自分をそれで縛るバカはいないわ。
Yeah, just ignore him. Bernkastel is a witch who supports me, but this girl is different. This witch supports Beatrice. In other words, she's on the side of the enemy. But there's some kind of difference between her and Beatrice. There's something elusive about Lambda Delta's existence and Bernkastel's as well. How should I put it? Maybe like they're beings from a higher dimension. In any event, I'm still unsure about how to deal with her. The only thing I'm certain about is that she is my enemy. No, just knowing that might be enough.
それで、私に何かご用？
まあね、あなたたちの会話に耳を傾けてたら、ちょっと面白い話になったんでね。あなたにちょっといい話を聞かせてあげようと思って。
あなたは私の敵のはず。そのあなたが私に得する話を聞かせる理由が思いつかないわ。
'Cause it's more fun this way.
つまり、耳を傾けた時点で負けということだわ。じゃあね、See you next time.
誤解しないで。私の相手はベルンであってあなたじゃないわ。つまり、私とあなたが共に得をする話はあり得るということよ。
This whole fucking game is a secondary issue.
悪いけど、私には聞く気がないわ。
That said, I probably won't be released from this frozen time until Lambda Delta is happy. That itself might be proof that she's a higher dimensional being than me. I haven't even been given the option of not listening to her. About the only thing I can do is strengthen my mental guard and try not to be shaken by anything she says. She'll probably either try to make me believe something disadvantageous to me, or threaten me.
そんなに身構えなくてもいいってば。私はあなたの誤解を解きに来ただけよ。いえ、ちょっと違う。ベルンカステルがあなたについた嘘を教えてあげようと思ってやってきたのよ。
Alright, shoot.
ベルンカステルが嘘？
Probably a little white lie somewhere mixed in there.
あなたがベルンにベアトを倒せば兄が帰ってくるような、そんな言い方をされたんじゃないの？
I mean, probably not for your timeline.
さあ。
You're from a bad fragment.
あなたに話す気はないけど。
My brother coming home. I hadn't been promised anything that dreamlike. It was a promise with considerably low prospects, where I could end up with maybe one person, and only if I was lucky. But that's enough for me. Since I was promised an eternity of isolation, this faint but still non-zero chance was like a blindingly bright beacon to me.
ある意味ベルンのその約束は嘘ではないわ。ベルンがそう約束したのならきっと、あなたがベアトを倒せば、バトラも両親も解放されて、あなたのところへ帰ってくる。
何の問題もないじゃない。
本気で？あの子は案外残酷よね。分かってて騙すなんて。
私がどう騙されてるというの？
Shoot. I've let her take the initiative. But I won't be released until I lend an ear to her story. So it's something I'll have to hear anyway. Even though I realized that I could be on the verge of falling into a trap, I urged her onwards.
今は何年？
このゲーム版の世界のこと？ならば、1986年10月。
その通り。ならば、あなたがベアトに打ち勝ったなら、台風が去った10月6日に、島に囚われていた人々は帰還する。1986年の10月6日にね。
だから何？
Yeah, it's gonna be a timeline divergence.
あなたの1986年の10月6日はどうだった？親戚の家にいたんじゃなかったかしら。
I'd been at the house of the only Sumadera my mother trusted, Grandpa. We got a call. While I was playing with building blocks in the tatami room, we got that call. After watching to see that I had remembered, Lambda Delta smiled unpleasantly and spoke. Yeah, that's not gonna change.
ねえ、あなたの1986年10月6日に バトラお兄ちゃん帰ってきた？
Even though I didn't understand what I was being told, I noticed an unpleasant sweat seeping out all over my face. I don't understand. I don't understand. What is this witch saying?
いい？あなたがベアトを倒せばバトラは確かに解放される。
Yeah, you're doing this to save the multiverse, not your own timeline, though.
そしてお家へ帰るでしょうね。1986年のお家に。だってそうでしょ？バトラは1986年の10月4日から5日に閉じ込められてるんだもの。解放されたらその翌日に帰るのは当然でしょ？そしてあなたは1998年の人間。バトラが帰ってこなかった1998年の後宮エンジェ。意味わかる？
何言ってるのあんたは。10月6日に家族が家に帰ってくるなら素敵じゃない。
Can't change past events.
私はすぐにおじいちゃんの家から帰るわ。そして私たちは出会う。めでたしめでたし。
ええ、後宮エンジェは家族に再会できるでしょうね。1986年に6歳の後宮エンジェはね。
私って誰？
後宮エンジェよ。18歳。
Yeah.
違うわ。後宮エンジェじゃない。そういう名前の魔女の駒なのよ。厳密にはエンジェ・ベアトリーチェという名の全くの別人。意味わかる？
I'm starting to think I don't. Huh? Huh? Who am I? Huh?
だからベルンは残酷だなって思うの。
Like once you enter the like game as a peace mover, you know, you like diverge from your original existence.
いいえ、意地悪だなって思うのよね。そういう経験なくもないくせにね。
私何か騙されてる？
ああ、でもどうかベルンを責めないでね。だって考えようによってはあの子は嘘を。
Yeah, some NJ's gonna get Battler back.
ベアトを倒せば家族が帰ってくる。後宮エンジェのところへ。でもその後宮エンジェがあなたのことだとは言ってないだろうけどね。
Yeah, it's a game of semantics and titles. Was it like that? Was it like that? What did Bernkastel say to me again? Your assistance is needed. Your family needs it. Bernkastel had started by saying that. Then I had responded. If I save them, does that mean my family will come back? How had Bernkastel answered that again? I cannot promise that. The kid did promise me. In exchange for accepting this fight. Yes, that's what she said. In exchange, I will search for the fragment with the ideal world that you can wish for. A world where your family comes home. Yes, that's right. She only said she'd search for it. She didn't say she'd find it. But I've been prepared for that from the beginning. Even so, she had promised that as long as I didn't give up, there was a faint chance of it happening. And in the end, she said this: I'm giving you a chance for revenge. In exchange, I promise to find and bring you the happiest resolution that is possible for you to receive.
初めから辛い賭けになることは承知よ。だって私の1998年には家族はいない。絶対のゼロが揺らぐわずかの可能性と引き換えなら、私にはそれだけで価値がある。仮に復讐を成し遂げても徒労になるかもしれないと事前に脅されてるわ。だから
その部分に嘘はないわね。ベアとのゲーム版は完璧よ。あんたが立ち回ったところでベアとが敗北する可能性なんて生涯に一度のみ夢見ることを許されるかどうかくらいほんのわずか。つまり限りなくゼロとみなせるほどに絶対にその勝率はほとんどゼロだから、
ベルンがそういうお茶を濁した言い方になるのは仕方がない。
Yeah, she had to sugarcoat it a bit, but so
でも
what?
あなたに夢を持たせた点についてだけは騙してると言い切れるわ。だって天文学的な確率を乗り越えてあんたが勝利できたとしても、家族が帰ってくるのはあんたのところじゃない。この1986年に存在する6歳の正しい後宮エンジェのところへよ。あんたのところにじゃない。ベルンはそれでも100億のかけらをめぐり、あんたに一番マシな世界を探すでしょうね。そしてその彼女が言ったんじゃないの？手土産に持参するつもりだが見つけられなかったと。
言ったわ。
そろそろ気づいてきた。
Hey, you're playing it up a little bit.
あんた、この戦いにご褒美が用意されてないのよ。いえ、それどころかベアと打ち破ればゲーム版は消え去る。そしてその駒であるあんたも消え去る。あんたに享受できるゴールは完全にいいえ。
I mean, there's revenge.
私の名において宣言するわ。この絶対の魔女ラムダデルタの名において絶対にないと宣言する。
そんな。
それがペルンの嘘よ。煙に巻いたと言うべき。あんたに救いがあるかのように誤
Yeah,
解さ
she's being a little
せた。
obtuse, but eh.
私はそれを解きに来たのよ。
つまり私はどう戦いどう勝利を収めようとも私のところに家族は帰ってこないの？
Eh, maybe. Probably not.
帰ってこない。絶対に。絶対の魔女が絶対にって言ってるの。これってすごいことよ。私に絶対が与えられたくて歴史的建造物を捧げた古代の王たちが何人もいたのに、私はそれを気前よくあんたにはプレゼントしちゃうの。これってばとっても素敵でキュートでマーベラスなことなのよ。
Yeah, it's great.
でも一つだけいい提案があるの。
Oh, and what's that? Not good. I'm getting completely swept up. I knew I shouldn't have listened. And now the witch Lambda Delta is starting to suck me in.
私の相手はベルンであってあんたじゃない。私とあなたが共に得をする
What, trying to work
話
out a
は
deal
あり
here?
得るとさっき言ったはずよ。最初から私はそういう話をすると言っているわ。だから耳を貸しなさい。貸すしかないのよ。
聞くわよ。聞いてやるわよ。聞けばいいんでしょ。
Getting emotional. Finally lost control over my emotions and exploded from the inside. I don't have a clue anymore. I believed that I was Anjay. At some point, I stopped being Anjay. That's right. I'm Anjay. Not Anjay. Who am I? Not my parents' daughter, nor my brother's little sister. I'm just a piece in a witch's game.
そこまで悲観することはないわ。だってよく考えて。今あんたはバトラお兄ちゃんに出会えているわ。確かに自らの名を名乗ることはできないけれど、それでも少なくとも魔女と戦うゲームの味方同士という位置にいて、いつまでも永遠に一緒にいることができる。意味わかる？
Frustratingly, I do. In other words, as long as Oni-chan keeps getting a draw in this game, it'll be repeated forever. Continuing to draw means the game will continue for eternity. And it means that I, a game piece, can remain with Oni-chan. But if Oni-chan wins, or else loses, and the curtain closes on the game...
駒であるあんたは消える。
What, to just keep the wheel spinning forever?
ゲームの駒の幸せは何？ゲームで遊んでもらうことだけよ。押し入れにしまわれて埃をかぶることじゃないわ。そうでしょ？
In the past, the Seven Sisters of Purgatory said it as well. Furniture's happiness is being used, not being stored away. That's right. I am now the witch's furniture.
話を少し変えるわね。 実は私このゲーム永遠に引き分け続けてほしいと思ってるの。
Why? Because now that Bern Costell's trapped in here, like, involved, you know, you can fucking keep her in one place.
終わらないゲームは永遠の檻。ベルンを今度こそ屈服させる未来永劫に開かれることのない絶対密室よ。ベアとはね、一応は勝つ気があるの。バトラを屈服させるという勝利。でもね、実はそれも私には困るのよ。だってゲームが終わっちゃったら密室が崩れてしまうもの。
And then the bird will fucking fly the coop.
だから私、バトラが屈服することだけはないようにある程度の手心は加えてるの。安心して、バトラが屈服しかけると私は彼の味方になったりもしてるのよ。
Playing both sides, always come out on top.
どうもベアとのやつ、それにうすうす気づき出してる気がする。このゲームに自分の勝ちは永遠にないんじゃないかって気づき始めてる気がする。でもそこはさすが無限の魔女。ベアとはバカだからそれでもいつかきっと
well, you're right on that
勝てる。
front.
それまで延々と無限にゲームを繰り返せばいいと楽観してるわ。金髪の女は大抵考えが足りないって決まってるものよ。
Look at a mirror recently?
この魔女のゲームには勝利も敗北もないってことなの？
私が勝たせない、そして任せない、絶対に。
And Beatrice's hair is more like a orangey brown anyway
ベルンは
than
そ
like
れに気
blonde.
づいてる。
Hell, even like strawberry blonde, it's kind of dark.
そしてそれを破るために最も強力な駒としてあんたを見つけ送り込んできた。このゲームを終わらせるためにね。
このゲームを終わらせる？
終われば駒の役目ははっきり断言する。あんたは存在が矛盾してるのよ。自らの存在理由が自らを闇に葬り絶望するため。
My goal is to defeat Beato and release my captive family. And yet, even if I succeed, I won't be rewarded.
負けられない。そして勝っても報われない。だから私は第三の選択肢をあなたに持ってきたの。そしてその選択肢は私とあなたの利害を一致させるわ。
And what would that be? Continuing the draw forever.
そう、永遠に引き分け続ける限りこの世界は崩壊しない。この世界は何？魔女とのゲームの世界。ベアトとバトラが永遠に戦い続ける世界。そして同時にあなたが永遠にバトラと一緒にいられる世界なのよ。
Sounds tempting. My brain turned to mush. I could feel the chaos pouring from my eyes as a hot liquid. The heat of it felt like it was going to burn my face.
エンジェ・ベアトリーチェ、ゲームを終わらせ、あなたとバトラの交流できる世界を終わらせようとするのが目的のベルンカステルに味方する理由がどこにあんの？あの子はあんたを騙してたの
Well,
よ。
some things can't last forever.
自分の駒になればあんたが救われるかのようにごまかしてね。でも私はそこをごまかさない。だから言うわ、エンジェ。私の駒になりなさい。私はベルンのように絶対にもらえない嘘のご褒美なんてちらつかせないわ。私の駒となり、このゲームが絶対に終わらないように私に協力する限り、私はあんたにこの世界が絶対に続くことを我が名において絶対に約束する。それだけじゃないわ。ボーナスもつけてあげる。
Ooh, I like
あなたに
bonuses.
課せられているルール、それを取り払ってあげるわ。まあもちろん私の駒になると誓ってもらった後にだけどね。
My throat made a heavy, loud gulping sound. I shouldn't have listened. If I hadn't listened, I could have remained an innocent little sister praying for my brother's victory. But I might be different now. I might have degraded into a witch's furniture. Satisfied merely to be by Oni-chan's side.
兄を裏切れと言ってるわけじゃないんだからね。 バトラが負けそうになったら全力で助ければいい。逆にバトラがペアと追い詰めすぎたら、
Yeah, but you might have to push him under the
少し
bus
加
a
減を
couple
変えてあ
times.
げてほしいと、その程度のお願いをしてるのよ。大丈夫、バトラを裏切るほどの必要はないわ。バトラ一人じゃベアトには勝てない。
Yeah, just hold your tongue.
だからベルンはあんたを送り込んだんでしょ。あんたが手を貸さない限りバトラは永遠にベアトには勝てない。とっても簡単でしょ。
Well then. More Ange. We'll never get back to Rokinjima, but maybe next time on the next episode of Umineko, maybe we'll eventually get back to the game. So with that, as we're going to end it here for today. Again, short episode, but hey, what can you do? Once again, thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring the notification bell. See you all next time for the next episode of Umineko. Catch you guys there. Later. Bye. Mwah.